Ever wonder how the back button in your browser works? Or the undo key in a document? It turns out tons of the digital tools we use every single day rely on one incredibly simple rule to keep things in order. And in this explainer, we're going to dive in and uncover that very rule.
See, this rule, it's all about answering one fundamental question that every system has to solve, from your web history to the apps on your phone. The question itself is super simple, but the answer? It's kind of genius. Who goes next?
And here it is. The answer is last in, first out. So what does that mean? Well, it's exactly what it sounds like. The very last thing you add is the absolute first thing you deal with. That's it. That's the elegant solution that quietly powers so much of our digital world.
Now, this super powerful idea, it's got a name, of course. We call it the stack, and it's all built on that one principle. Last in, first out, or LIFO for short. Seriously, once you grasp this one core idea, everything else is going to just click into place.
Okay, so what is a stack if we're getting technical for a second? Well, it's what's called an abstract data type, but don't let that term scare you. All it really means is that it's defined by that one single rule, LIFO. The most recent item you add to the pile is always, and I mean always, the first one to be removed.
But you know what? The best way to visualize this is to just forget all the tech jargon for a minute. Just picture a stack of dinner plates, right? You add a new clean plate to the top, and when you need a plate, where do you take it from? The top, of course. You wouldn't try to just yank one out from the middle or the bottom. The whole thing would crashing down.
So that whole plate analogy, it actually sets up the rules of a stack perfectly, because you can only ever deal with that top item. A stack has a very small, very specific set of actions you're allowed to do. It's all about the top.
Yeah, this really nails it. A stack is top-focused. That's the key. All the important stuff, adding, removing, even just looking, it all happens in that one single place, the very top.
Okay, let's break down those actions. They've got some official-sounding names, but they're super simple. To push something is just putting a new plate on top of the stack. To pop something is to take that top plate off. To peek is exactly what it sounds like. You're just taking a quick look at the top plate without actually removing it. And finally, is empty is just asking the simple question, hey, are there any plates left? That's the whole shebang. Pretty straightforward, right?
All right, so we've got the theory down. A stack of plates, a few simple rules. It's all about the top. Got it. But where does this actually show up in the real world? This is where it gets really cool. This is the aha moment where this abstract idea becomes something you see and use every single day.
Think about the undo button. We all use it, probably more than we'd like to admit. What happens when you hit it? The last thing you did, that last word you typed, that last shape you drew, is the first thing to disappear. That's a textbook stack in action. Every change you make gets pushed onto a stack, and hitting undo simply pops the most recent one right off the top. And it's the exact same principle with your web browser's back button. You visit one page, then another, then a third. That third page is now sitting on top of your history stack. When you hit back, what happens? Boom, you pop that last page off, and you're looking at the second page again. It's a perfect LIFO system for navigating backwards.
Now, this next one is a little more behind the scenes, but it is so important. It's how computer programs actually manage their tasks. When a program starts a new job, it pauses what it's doing and pushes that new task on top of a stack. And here's the key. That new task must finish completely. It has to get popped off the stack before the original task underneath it can pick up where it left off.
And believe me, the list just keeps going. The stack is literally everywhere once you know what you're looking for. It's used to backtrack when you hit a dead end in a maze. It's used to evaluate complex math problems. And it's even used to make sure every opening parenthesis in a block of code has a matching closing one. So after seeing all these examples, what's the big lesson here? It's really about giving you a new mental model, a new lens to help you understand the digital world that's all around you. Here's the simple, powerful rule of thumb. Whenever you're in a situation where the most recent thing needs to be handled first, you can bet there's a stack working behind the scenes. Last in, first out is the key, and the stack is the perfect tool for the job.
And there you have it, the stack, a super simple idea with huge implications. And now that you know the rule, last in, first out, I'll leave you with a question to think about. Where else do you see stacks working in your life? You might just be surprised how often you start spotting them.